Hello everyone, welcome to my Flosstube channel. I'm Jessie Lee coming at you with video number 5. I hope this video goes okay because it has been raining here in Minnesota for the past week straight, and when it rains, I get the worst brain fog. Is it like that for any of you guys out there? Oh my goodness, whenever the barometric pressure drops, it's like do pressure pushing down on me, pushing down on. So anyway, I have just been dragging my ass through the past few days, feeling as though I took a bunch of Benadryl, but it just felt really important to me to come back and make a video for you all. And fortunately, I only have very straightforward stitchy stuff to talk about this week, so I'm just gonna push through. First, I want to acknowledge a few more YouTubers that I've been getting to know recently, starting with Stacie Stitches. Stacie gave me the kindest shout out in one of her videos recently, and it meant so much to me. I don't want to get into detail about it and go on a tangent, but I struggle with pretty severe social anxiety. I just always feel totally uncertain of how other people perceive me, and it makes me feel insecure. So, to hear Stacie talk about getting to know me through my videos, and the person she describes seeing is actually my genuine self, and she likes me, and she's a cool person herself, that's just like so reassuring and a huge confidence boost, and just encourages me to just continue trying to join in this community. Stacie, that shout out just meant more to me than you could ever know. So thank you. I'm just really grateful. Like I said, Stacie herself is super cool. She is so bubbly and silly. She makes me laugh in all of her videos. And I love hearing about what's going on between her and the people in her life. She talks about her son Daniel, who is her only child. And I grew up as an only child, so hearing her talk about him just gives me the vibes. And her husband is a woodworker and makes super cool stuff for her. And she's good buddies with her in-laws. And she's got a bunch of stitchy friends. And she's just a cool person surrounded by other cool people. And she makes really cool cross stitch. All of her projects are super cute and fun to look at. And she and her husband are going to be starting an Etsy soon. And I am psyched for that. So yeah, she is just this sweet person with the shiniest aura. And yeah, if you haven't gotten to know Stacie yet, please go to her channel, Stacie Stitches, and subscribe. Another Flosstuber I've been enjoying is Kelly, and her channel is called Don't Run with Scissors. Kelly is my favorite lawyer, Jeep drive-in mom of twins with 2 rescue dogs who are a hot mess. She is just a quirky lady with a great sense of humor, and a lot of the time she's laughing at herself. And she's also super smart and informed and opinionated. And in her videos, she's just totally unstructured. She just talks about what's on her mind, and I enjoy that. And also, all of her cross stitches are just totally her own. She is not stitching what everybody else is stitching. And I just find Kelly to be a breath of fresh air. I really enjoy her, and if you don't know her yet, you really need to go check her out. So there's Stacie and Kelly over on the energetic end of the good vibe spectrum, but down here on the calm end of the good vibe spectrum, I have found Janny, the Evergreen Stitcher. Janny is just a peaceful, gentle, down-to-earth person. She and her husband are from Washington, and they like to go camping together, and orca whales are her favorite animal. And she said that she has been collecting orcas since she was 15, and as an animal lover myself, I think that is so neat, and I'm also mystified as to how she fits these giant ocean creatures into her home. She's got a really cool variety of whips going, and a lot of them are from vintage patterns, which I'm really interested in. And my favorite whip of hers is called Sit a Spell. It's of a witch lounging in an easy chair, and I think it's so adorable, and I love seeing her progress on it. So if you don't know the Evergreen Stitcher yet, go to her channel, check her out. She is just a good soul. Hi. All right, now for an update on my stitching. In video 4, I mentioned that I was working on a secret project, and last week I did manage to finish it up and ship it out. And it's still a secret, but hey, it's an accomplishment I made. I also stayed up to date on my temperature garden. The temperature garden is a pattern by Sara Hughs, the Stitchin Mommy here on Flosstube, and this is how mine is going. I am stitching this 1/1 on 28 count white even weave, and I chose all of my own colors. Each flower petal color corresponds to the temperature of that day on the calendar. And what I chose was to have blue and purple be the coldest colors, then pink and coral are more mid temps, and then orange and yellow are the hot temperatures. And as you can see already in April, I've had to stitch 2 yellow petals already. When it was in the 80s, right in the first week of April, my mind was blown. And on those days, I was just sweaty and mad. I hate the heat. So I went and compared my temperature garden to the temperature tree that I stitched last year. Last year on my temperature tree, I actually had to go and modify the colors to compensate for the abnormally hot summer we were having. So when I compared the tree to the garden so far, I discovered that this year is already way, way hotter than last year was, which just really freaks me out. It is not normal. You guys, we really need to save the planet. This is not okay. I've had the most fun these past 2 weeks stitching on my spring cat sampler. I had not gotten to it for a little while because I was distracted with some other projects, but when I came back to it, I just felt like my interest and my patience for it was just totally refreshed, and I had a blast working on it. So let me show it to you. It is by Nancy Rossi, and I got it from Cooler Design Studio, and this is what it will look like. Last time I showed it, I had all of these bottom motifs done, including the turtle, the caterpillar, and up through the lilies of the valley down here at the bottom of this trellis. And I will show you where I got to. This is how it's looking now. Probably would have benefited from taking it out of the scroll frame, but I stitched up the big tall trellis, and then in this middle section here, I put in what will be bleeding hearts. They will look super cute once I get the back stitching in. So I am still just having a lot of fun with this piece, and every little detail is just really adorable to me. This was my first time stitching on my new scroll frame, and I am in love. It is a complete game changer. What's nice about it is it has these little holes down the side, so you can adjust how high or low you want this bar to be. So you can decide how much of your fabric you want showing or how much space you need to fit your arm underneath while you're stitching. I have found myself using both my regular just one-handed stitching method, but also switching between doing two-handed. I don't find doing two-handed stitching that much of an adjustment. I guess I'm surprising myself with how slightly ambidextrous I've turned out to be. The tension on this is so nice and secure. I don't find myself adjusting the tension of my fabric constantly like I would with a hoop. And it's also just gentler altogether on my piece. And another thing I like about it is how easy it is to scroll through and access different areas of my fabric. Stitching that big tall trellis would have been a complete pain in the butt to do in a hoop, even a large hoop, you know? So I just love this thing. It's simple to use. It's working out great. And even having to flip it over to get to the back of the fabric to tie off threads and stuff has not been that big of a deal. It's a little more awkward than it would be with a hoop, but it's not bad at all. I am so happy I made this purchase. Again, I got this particular frame from a Russian Etsy shop called BestStitchKits, and it was fairly reasonable price. It's a pretty simple frame, but it looks pretty and it works really well. And it's shipped over from Russia, in a fair amount of time. Great condition. I'm just super happy with it. This is just the most amazing tool to add to my stitching arsenal. I am psyched to continue with my spring cat sampler. I have totally gotten into a rhythm stitching it on the scroll frame, and I will keep up with my temperature garden. And I also have exciting plans for a new start. I am going to be joining a SAL. Sara, who I have mentioned here on my channel before, her Flosstube is Stacie Stitches. She and her friend Kim on Instagram are launching a SAL, and the hashtag they are using for it is stitching till the cows come home. And they're inviting everyone to join in on stitching a pattern of a cow of their choice. So I thought, hey, I live in a milk carton. I can totally stitch on a cow. That is really cute. So let me show you the cow that I found. I actually found a super cute pattern in one of the vintage cross stitch magazines that I received as stitchy kindness from Susan, who watches my channel. This is from Cross Stitch and Country Crafts, July, August 1990. Isn't that cool? And I found this cute canister label pattern, but my plan is to take it and omit the word in the middle and just do the motif, the animals, one line of checkers, the food, and the bottom motif, and make a little magnet for my fridge. I think that will be super cute. I think this cow in particular is really adorable, and that yellow chicken, come on. And of course, corn. Speaks to my Nebraska heart. Anyway, I am thrilled that I found a cow in these precious magazines, so I get to be stitching out of them right away. I'm excited to join the SAL with my friends, and I hope any of you guys watching who are interested will join along too. Let's get this SAL off the ground. There is another cow pattern that I'm absolutely in love with, but it's not the one for me to stitch this time. So I thought I'd show it to you all in case one of you guys would fall in love with it and use it for the stitch along so I get to see it actually made. That would just be so neat. So I'm going to show it. This is Buttercup Dairy Farm by Trellis and Thyme. And this is what it looks like. I am in love with this pattern. Look how adorable that cow is. And I love all of the motifs, especially that sunflower with the bumblebees. The sunflower also reminded me of Sara because sunflowers are special to her because they remind her of her dad. So I wanted to also show this pattern just so Sara could see it. Sara, did you see this cow? Isn't it cute? Anyway, I was a little more inspired by the corn on the pattern that I'm going to be stitching, so I went with that one, but I just wanted to show that because it's so cute, and I hope somebody out there stitches it. I also need to get a move on this other project that is very special to me that I attempted to start last year, and it just fell by the wayside, and that is these Birthstone Girls by Soda Stitch. Here are the patterns. This is Birthstones 1. And here is Birthstones 2. And what I was going to use these patterns for was to create some sweet little girls by Frankensteining the heads and dresses and the stones of a variety of these girls together to create new Birthstone girls that will best represent my grandmother, my mother, me, and my daughter, Sylvia. Last year I picked out the bits and pieces from these charts and created my own new charts, and I wanted to start stitching each Birthstone girl in the month of the birthday of each woman that they represent. But my mother's birthday is in April. She would have been the first for me to work on last year, but because of the pandemic, I just wasn't able to get the materials and the threads in time because the supply was, as you know, kind of tricky to access at that time. So I just put this project off for a year. And I'm glad that I did because looking back on the charts that I created by using these patterns as a base, I decided that I'm not quite happy with them and I kind of want to start from scratch and do them differently. I spent a couple days last week using a collage program in my phone to cut out bits of the pictures from the pattern and piece them together to find the perfect arrangement that I want to chart. And then I will have to spend a chunk of time actually making the charts that I will be working from when I stitch. And I do hope to begin stitching on my mom by the end of this month because it's April and her birthday is this month. I don't plan on getting my mom's Birthstone Girl finished this month. I think that would be a really tall order, but hopefully I will get her all the way stitched up before June, which is my daughter's birth month. And then I will be working on my daughter Sylvia next. Well, that is all I have to talk about in this video. That went really fast. Who am I becoming? I am still exhausted. Anyway, God loves you. I love you. Happy stitching. Peace.